Namaste and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. I'm Anand Narsimhan. Jai Hind, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, we are going to start with a special, exclusive news break. Ladies and gentlemen, beware. Tonight, we start with the need for you and me, collectively as a country, to take the right stand with respect to something that future wars will be fought on. Data. Data is the new oil, ladies and gentlemen. How often have we bothered to check whom we are signing away our privacy to? Do we even know how many apps have been downloaded by us into our phones? Word is, on an average, every mobile phone has at least 50 apps. You can count the apps in your phone. But do you even know what kind of privacy you've signed away? What kind of data is being siphoned off by these apps from your phone on a day-to-day, minute-to-minute, hour-to-hour basis? And where is this data going? Do we even know what kind of data is being siphoned off in the form of permissions or which we have not even bothered to see? Why does a sharing app need to get access to your contact list? Why should a platform for you to express or send videos need your financial data? These are questions that remain, and that's the reality. What if this data is being pulled by a nation that considers us as an adversary, which then turns and uses this data, loots this, steals it away from us, and then uses it to somehow influence us, influence society, and to try and put in place or put at work its own devious machinations. So let's decode this app chori. Following the Galwan Valley clash, the government banned Chinese apps in an effort to protect the privacy of its citizens, but these apps have returned in one form or another. The government had banned nearly 250 apps, including popular ones like TikTok, WeChat, and Share It. But these have allegedly returned in one form or another, taking another name or mirrors. Some of these apps are Tiki, Share Karo, Helom, Resu, which are suspected to have Chinese links. One such app, Tiki, which is allegedly owned by Bigo, but the company has denied any involvement, despite evidence indicating that the app has traces in Beijing. Share Karo, Hello, and Reso are other apps allegedly owned by Chinese firms and are operating once again in India. These apps are allegedly being marketed under the false pretext of Make in India to attract users. Not just that, sources tell CNN News18 that some of these apps either use fake IPs or even do not have a registered office. So how will users connect with them? Some of these apps, who have more than 50 million downloads, ladies and gentlemen, have a personal Gmail ID as a contact number or a contact address. They don't even have a proper address or phone number. So how do you steal the data? Apart from identity change, the banned apps are promoting alternative methods for Indian users to download them. So here are some of the modus operandi. Modus operandi 1. One such method is to download an APK file from Google. When the users install the apps from the APK files, they are not getting them from the official source. This in turn increases the chances of downloading a modified version containing malware or viruses. Modus operandi 2. Another method is to use a proxy and download it as a user from another country. Similarly, using a proxy to download the app can compromise the user's privacy. Why experts say this is because the app can then collect data on their own online activity. So, however, Tiki, one of the apps in cloud condition, has denied any link to China. What Tiki has said is that it has no association with China or any Chinese apps or companies. Tiki says that their servers and user data are strictly based in India. Tiki also claims that in the past, when the issue of server locations was highlighted in relation to Bigo, we changed the server service providers. Tiki says that they exercised complete due diligence before engaging with our current providers. Tiki has assured that they are confident that this is in with the existing compliances and law of the land. Interestingly, Tiki shows its server base as Mumbai only from the 17th of February onwards, ladies and gentlemen. And we prove it to you via cyber expert Amit Dubey, who I caught up with in our newsroom just a short while ago. Have a look at this. What is this entire scam all about and how are they doing this data chori? We've just caught up and we've got in a cyber expert here and on the sidelines here on the newsroom, catching up with Amit Dubey. Amit, thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Amit.
So, these are the 59 that you have. Take us through what all you have done a deep dive and how they work.
Yeah, so I'll just give you the steps through which we can verify whether this app belongs to India or China or it has some roots somewhere else. These were the apps, those were banned initially in first go. We will just analyze these two apps, TikTok and Share It.
Okay.
I'm going on Play Store and I'll just search TikTok. I'm searching TikTok. I'm not searching Tiki, no. But when I search TikTok, it gives me the very first thing is Tiki. Now I'll go to the Tiki. Okay. Believing this is a different app. And they have 100 million plus downloads. The company name is there and I'll just take you through the data that they capture from our mobile phone. So they capture location, personal details, financial details, photos and videos, audio, app activity, app information.
I can actually go to these details but
Exactly.
understand what this app is capturing.
Exactly.
मैंने आज तक नहीं किया है, आगे से करूँगा, promise. हाँ जी.
ये आप देखिए आपका सारा डेटा उनके पास जा रहा है और इसके बाद
They're taking your location, they're taking your financial info, they're taking
Personal
your
details.
personal info, photos, videos, audio, app activity and app info and performance.
exactly. So they also know about other apps if you are
Device
using.
or other IDs भी है, अच्छा.
Exactly. So if you are using the same application on multiple devices, they are collecting data from both the devices. So to that extent, they are actually stealing data from your phone. If I take you to the privacy policy of Tiki,
So first up, it's not supposed to be there. I am searching for TikTok and Tiki is coming, and in Tiki they're taking all of the financial details. Why do they need?
exactly. So the network is little slow, but if you see this website, which is not tiki.video, it is in Hindi.
Right.
So they want to show themselves as an Indian app, and they have the options available in multiple languages, Indian languages. But if you go to see their address, they don't have any Indian address. The address is from Singapore.
Okay.
So if they want to show themselves as an Indian app, why do they not have any Indian office?
So got the privacy policy.
So it's loading actually. So this is something which is in Hindi. The Tiki.video website. They want to show themselves as an Indian app, but if I take you through their privacy policy and if I want to contact them, the address available is from Singapore.
Geylang Road, Singapore. Wow.
So they don't have any address from India.
And it is legal at Tiki Video.
That's it.
all. And
That's
DOL Technology, 7188 Geylang Road, Surat. There is no this one.
Now,
But they have a grievance officer who's
that they have given an email ID. That's it.
This is because of the new law.
This
that
is
every
because
app
of the
has
new
to
law.
have a grievance
Otherwise,
officer.
yes. Now, if I go and see that where this application is hosted, from where it is being operated, so I'll just give you the IP history of this app. If I see the IP history of Tiki.video, you see that this app was hosted till 21st January 22 in Hong Kong,
Vigo Technology.
which is Vigo Technology server, and 17th Feb 2023 means just February 23. They were still in Hong Kong.
Central Hong Kong.
And recently, 17th Feb 2023, they moved to Mumbai.
Mumbai.
Now, what is this Vigo? If I go,
17th Feb तो अभी 2-3 दिन पहले.
बिल्कुल. If I go to the band app, you will see the Vigo live here.
Vigo Live is a band app.
So this is the same app which was hosted on Vigo server, and now Tiki is also was also
on
hosted
the
there.
same band server.
Same server. Which means they are linked together. They are having some management common and
कुछ तो
just
गड़बड़ है दया.
कुछ तो गड़बड़. Now I'll take you to another app which is Share It,
Okay.
which was very popular, and I'll search that
Correct.
also.
Yeah, Share It was
So
very
I'm just searching Share It. I'm searching Share It, which is banned app.
It's a chair.
But when I search Share It, sorry, let me just correct the spelling as well so that people not feel that I am doing something else. If I search Share It, it gives me Share Karo.
Share करो.
Why Share Karo? I have not searched Share Karo. I have searched Share It. And Share Karo itself has 50 million downloads.
50 million downloads
If you
already.
see the name, it itself says that most of these downloads are from India. And
But
that
if these apps are banned, how are they, even if they change their names, how are they coming back into our system? How are they appearing on our Play Store, on our phone?
see every time
देखो
you
मेरे फोन पे आ गए तो मैं डाउनलोड करूंगा उसमें आप मुझे कैसे दोष दे सकते हो फोन पे मत दिखाओ
see as long as you are following Google policy, you can host an application on Google Play Store or
Correct.
App Store on of Apple. So they create a new entity, they create a new app altogether, because the app is ready, they just need to change the signature and look and feel a little bit, that's it. And then they can host it, a fresh application on Play Store.
Correct. So Amit, finally I'm going to ask you to tell our viewers, what is it that they should do when they are going to download an app to safeguard themselves? What should they do?
First of all, whatever test I have given you, anybody can do this. Anybody can just go to Play Store, they can see that what all permissions the app is taking.
Details of
Before even installing it, you should just check whether they are taking your contact list, photos and videos, microphone, camera, video access. You should not give unless until it is really required because of some features in the app. Contact list, I'll say big no. You should never give your contact list because most of these frauds are happening because of that. Second, you should also check their privacy policy and the website where it is hosted. How old is it? And if they have moved recently to India, then you should not believe and trust everything whatever they have mentioned.
That is a cyber expert, ladies and gentlemen, who's telling us to exercise certain level of due diligence. यार आज तक मैंने खुद नहीं किया वो ऐप के नीचे जाके डिटेल जाके क्या आपसे इन्फो खींच रहा है. Never checked. We need to check because they are taking it all away. Why does an app that where you are going to post videos need your financial information? Should you share your contact list with everyone? These are all aspects which we need to understand because ये घूम के कैसे आता है? Via loan app, via betting racket. You understand this, ladies and gentlemen? CNN News 18 has exposed several scams that China is allegedly linked to as far as India is concerned, and these are all data-driven scams. The latest being government-banned Chinese apps returning to lure Indians in one way or the other. Now, last week only we exposed how nearly 289 websites were used by Chinese nationals to spread a massive betting racket, this too via Dubai. And an Indian national too has been arrested for the same, and they have siphoned off thousands of crores. Also the loan apps. The loan small loans, 10,000 rupees, 20,000 rupees, but on a day-to-day, daily interest they were being charged. And there were people who were committing suicides because of this. Nearly 200 shell companies were allegedly formed in Delhi, Bengaluru and Bihar, all Chinese loan apps. And in this, gullible, vulnerable people, desperate, were made to join investment groups on Telegram and made to believe that it is not a Ponzi scheme and fraudsters would take away the purchase made by the victims. However, last month the government has decided to block and ban over 200 Chinese loan apps, but they can surface somehow or the other. Look at what they have done with the way these apps which were banned during in 2020 have once again crept back into our system. So we also need to be aware and beware. Moving on here on The Right Stand. Khalistani separatist leader Amrit Pal Singh issued an open threat to Union Home Minister Amit Shah, saying his fate will be similar to Indira Gandhi. This person is getting a free run on ground, ladies and gentlemen, and it is a huge cause for worry because this has got a very, very ominous sense of deja vu. Listen to what he said.
हिंदुस्तान की हुकूमत सैकुलर हुकूमत है और हिंदुस्तान की हुकूमत चाहती है भी सारिਆਂ ਨੂੰ आज़ादी की गल हो। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੱਸੋ ਮੈਨੂੰ देश के गृह मंत्री ने प्रधानमंत्री ने कभी अज तक ये कहा भी ਅਸੀਂ हिंदू राष्ट्र वाले ਨੂੰ नप्पांगे उत्थे गल बदल नहीं देवांगे। फिर ਇਹਦਾ मतलब है भी फर्क है ना, सिखां ਦੀ ਆਪਣੀ इंस्पिरेशन ਤੇ ਹਿੰਦੂਆਂ ਦੀ इंस्पिरेशन 'ਚ फर्क है। सिख नहीं कर सकते, हिंदू अपना एक सुपना लै सकते। सो मैनू ऐ लगता भी नप्पिया कुछ नहीं नप्पिया जाता होंदा। इंदिरा गांधी ने नप के देख लिया की नतीजा निकलिया, ये भी करके वेख लेना जो फिर वो चाह पूरा करने वाली गल है कर लेना। असीं ते सीस तली ते धर के तुरे हाँ, सानू जे मौत का भै होवे ते असीं इन्हां राहां ते तुर गए ना। तो जिहड़ा गृह मंत्री वो अपना चाह पूरा करके वेख लेना।
Now, this is not the first time he has said or done something against the law of the land and also the spirit of Bharat itself. In February 2023, this self-styled preacher who's returned from the United Kingdom and self-proclaimed head of Waris Punjab, Amrit Pal Singh, has been booked for kidnapping, theft and voluntarily causing hurt at a police station in Ajnala. In Jan 2022, Amrit Pal visited Mohali to show solidarity with those demanding the release of Bandi Sikhs who are in prison convicted of militancy charges. During his visit to Mohali, he said if he had got independence in 1984, the condition of Punjab would not have been like India and that action would have been taken if they weren't released, December 2022, Amrit Pal supporters allegedly vandalized chairs at a Gurdwara in Jalandhar and set them on fire. This during their statewide procession. The preacher had warned against the use of chairs inside Gurdwaras, as being seated at the same level as Sri Guru Granth Sahib is a violation of Maryada. In November 2022, Amrit Pal Singh's Ludhiana-based supporter Amrit Pal Mehron was charged for issuing threats to a Congress leader. No action has been taken against Amrit Pal Singh, who posed with guns with Mehron on social media. In the same month, police had booked Bhagwant Singh, a close aide of Amrit Pal, for allegedly posting pictures of him holding guns on social media. In September 2022, 29-year-old Amrit Pal, while taking charge of Deep Sandhu's Waris Punjab, they called on the youth from the community to wake up and fight for the freedom of Panth and Punjab. This threat to the Union Home Minister, the simple question is, why give this hate monger, this secessionist, a free run? Ramnik Singh Maan, activist, and Hemant Atri, senior journalist, with us at this point. Hemant Atri, why is Amrit Pal getting a free run? Why is he being allowed to convolute narratives and try to misinform people? Why is he being allowed to separate Sikhi from the Hindu way of life?
Anandji, one thing is very clear, that in last October last year only, Union Home Ministry, they have categorically mentioned to the Punjab Police and particularly the Chief Minister's office himself that all the activities of this gentleman have to be kept on very close vigil. Union Home Ministry had just cautioned them. What has happened since then? It's almost, we are running into 6 months from then. And what he has done during all this duration, you have very well already you narrated it.
Right.
Now the issue is, first issue lies with the state government. What this gentleman is doing. Actually, Anand, precisely speaking, there is a political vacuum in the state of Punjab after Aam Aadmi Party coming to the power. They are just keeping mum as far as this gentleman is concerned. Have you ever heard a single statement from the top notches of the Punjab government? No. For the very simple reason, I don't know. The thing is, if a small threat is given by somebody to someone, he is behind the bars. And see the kind of narrative that this man is propagating all through in Punjab. Yeah. What he is saying, I am bringing back all those youths to the Sikhis. I am doing this, I am doing that. And in garb of that, what he is doing, he is basically propagating the Khalistani sentiment in the, in the dresses of Mr. Bhindrawala. And Punjab government is keeping mum. Again, onus squarely also lies with the government of India. Once a gentleman also dares to threaten a home minister, union home minister. Imagine the audacity. This audacity from where he has gained. He has gained this audacity from non-action of Punjab government. He thinks that if Punjab is not taking action against so many things, there are certain cases in which he has been alleged to kidnap, threaten, theft, this and that, and so many other things also. So this is a classic case of 153A, 152, and so many other IPC sections. What has Punjab Police done? What has Punjab government done?
Punjab Police, we are given to understand, reports are suggesting that Punjab Police is actually giving protection to some of the rallies where he is giving, and they are giving cover fire. They are just standing there as mute spectators when he is making these utterances, and he is making them in full public view. कि इंदिरा गांधी को नप लिया, होम मिनिस्टर को भी नप लेंगे. Ramnik Maan, why? These people don't represent Sikhi, but they claim to be doing it for Sikhs and for Punjab and for Panth. Why is there no rejection, outright rejection? Why are these people getting a free run?
See, Anand, the point is, when you talk about Amrit Pal Singh, he's been given a free run by the Aam Aadmi Party government in Punjab. And the reasons are very clear. Number one, Amrit Pal dilutes and challenges the hardcore Panthic vote bank of the Shiromani Akali Dal, which has traditionally been with the Shiromani Akali Dal, and their defecting from the Akali Dal only serves the cause of the Aam Aadmi Party, politically speaking. That is one. Number two, Amrit Pal's targeting the union government time and again, over and over, and the Prime Minister himself, and now the Home Minister, and the establishment and the idea of India, and every constitutional provision of India also favors the Aam Aadmi Party of a sort, because they challenge their other adversary, which is the Bharatiya Janata Party.
Right.
So it suits them, and law and order, since it's a state subject, so the central agencies cannot directly interject. My surprise is, I can understand the political reasons of the Aam Aadmi Party. My surprise is that the courts are not taking a suo motu cognizance of his deeds. This surprises me. The milords who would take suo motu cognizance of deciding whether certain lemonade is nimbu pani or is a cold drink would not decide whether these statements are actually treason or not, whether these are anti-national or not. Talking about balkanization of India, cutting away a part of India, creating of Khalistan, and instigating the youth of Punjab, and trying to bring about an idea that Sikhs are let's say slaves in India. This is what he per se says. I mean, in correct terms, if I translate,
Yes.
Ghulam, Asi Ghulam. And when you talk about Panth in Punjab, who gives him the authority to speak for and on behalf of the Panth?
Exactly.
Who gives him the responsibility to speak for on behalf of Punjab? And what Punjab is he talking about? Is the Punjab on the other side not Punjab? Or are Sikhs in Pakistan not Sikhs enough to be protected? Are Sikhs in Afghanistan not Sikhs enough to be protected? By the way, there are no Sikhs left in Afghanistan. So, Amritpal needs to know that, number one. Number two, now the legitimate representatives of Punjab who have been voted into power with a brute majority by people of Punjab are quiet. They are letting one man and his army and his goons and his ideologues push Punjab into a dark era once again.
Right.
So my surprise is not just with the political party, the Chief Minister of Punjab, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, convener of Aam Aadmi Party, but also the judges of Punjab and Haryana High Court, or for that matter, the Honorable Supreme Court per se. They should take suo motu cognizance. They should direct the police to take action against him. Each time he makes a provocative statement, he gets away with it. He gets encouraged to make yet another one and a larger one. So he needs to be nipped there. Enough is enough. The government, the judiciary and the police should take action.
Ji, I'll come back to you. I have another question to you, Ramnik Man, but Hemant Atri, I just saw him put his hand up when you were saying something. Yes, Hemant Atri.
See, Anand, one thing is very clear that there are two aspects to it. Of course, law and order is a state subject. But in the previous months, so many months, we have seen Union of India, particularly the NIA, working against these kind of separatist elements all together, all through the country. They have banned certain organizations. They have taken very stringent actions. They have, raided hundreds of places in one single time. They have done it. Why not in Punjab now? This gentleman is having a free run. He is threatening the Union Home Minister. So what more you need to act against him? And my point is, this gentleman remained in Dubai for last 10 years. He came back to India in 2022. And as part of a movement, he became an ideologue of Sikhi. How come? There is basically, Anand, a complete vacuum of leadership as well as Panthik agenda in Punjab. Now see, Aam Aadmi Party came with such a huge mandate in Punjab, unprecedented mandate. And on 100th day, once they took over the reins of the power in Punjab, what happened? They lost the constituency represented by the Chief Minister himself, that is Zagrur.
Right.
And to whom they lost it? They lost to some gentleman who is a non-separatist. So where are things moving from here? Things are moving in a very dangerous position, as Captain Amrinder Singh, who happens to be now in BJP.
Right.
He has rightly pointed out. What he has said is something very important. He is an army officer also. He is a two-time Chief Minister. And what he says, that the potential of this gentleman has all the ingredients of disturbing Punjab state's law and order machinery. Still, if Punjab is not able to handle it, why not the NIA? Do they need any mandate? They can simply come and they can take strictest most possible action against him. Who stops them? The issue is, if Punjab government is not doing enough, then the thing lies upon the
shouldn't that
government.
be highlighted? Shouldn't that
Of course,
responsibility of not allowing any secessionist agenda on their soil as law and order becomes a state subject? But Ramnik Man,
that's why they are not
but
taking it
Ramnik
out.
Man, criticizing the Aam Aadmi Party is one point. Why they are enacting, there has to be a reason for that, and that needs to be exposed. But if this person is misusing Sikhi, misusing the Panthik platform itself, then where is the SGPC? Where is the Akal Takht? Have they denounced him? Have they outlawed him? Have they come out and said he doesn't represent what they are saying? They have not also said anything. The religious custodians of Sikhi have also not said anything.
Anand, with the this is something which I should have come into the public domain much earlier in time. See, the Shiromani Gurdwara Prabandhak Committee has been the instigator in chief when it comes to creating a divide between the Sanatanis and the Sikhs. So I don't see them acting against Amrit Pal in any case, and they're not going to act against him soon. Number one. Number two, well, when he runs programs like Khalsa Vihir, when he runs program like getting Sikhs, young boys baptized and bringing up social and religious issues, and rightly said by the gentleman on the panel that there has been a vacuum, and the rise of the Aam Aadmi Party has been because of that vacuum. And not the other way around. Yes, the vacuum still exists. There is very little religious representation. The religious leadership has been very poor. The political leadership of Sikhs, the representation of Sikhs have been very poor. Can you imagine? Bhagwant Mann is a non-baptized Sikh. He's a trimmer. He does not have full length hair over his head. He just ties a turban. And him being a chief minister of Punjab and talking about Sikhi and whatnot. And in amidst of all this, and amidst of a huge wave of missionaries converting people in Punjab, and the poor, the backward, and the downtrodden, the scheduled caste, if I may use that word per se. So this man comes up with all the right tones, well-rehearsed and well-researched subjects, well-rehearsed and well-researched comments on several religious and social issues. People take him hand to hand, and there is a very large number of, let's say, that he has done his homework well, and I am sure that he has good people at his disposal across the Radcliffe line, across the border in Pakistan, who've been supporting him, and to move forward the agenda of Khalistan, and to bring disturbance in Punjab, to bring disturbance in India, to try and create a environment of animosity, try and create an environment of divide amongst Hindus and Sikhs. Sikhs, whether they live in Pakistan, they live in Afghanistan, they live in India or anywhere else in the world, whenever a Sikh or a Hindu fight and they die amongst themselves, they shed their blood, it's advantage to the ISI, and that's what, they have planted several people over the years.
If you are wise to it,
I believe,
if you are wise to it,
to make inroads.
If you are wise to it, Ramnik Man, we can be sure that a lot of people are wise to it. A lot of people understand what is going on, Hemant Atri.
Absolutely.
If Ramnik Man sitting here on the right stand is saying that the SGPC is not taking the right stand, or the SGPC actually is enjoying the fact that somebody like Amrit Pal is out there trying to sow this drive this wedge among communities in our country, and also spread the secessionist seed, then we have a serious problem with the SGPC. If the SGPC is a custodian of
we have a serious problem. Where is the doubt about it, Anand?
No, then the crackdown,
crackdown
then
should
not be.
Is the root problem.
The crackdown.
Listen, Anand, allow me just 1 minute. Anand, allow me 1 minute. The SGPC is the root cause, it's the problem, because they haven't been able to propagate Sikhi as per the 1925 resolution. The first aspect was prachar, Pantha da prachar. So they were not able to propagate Sikhi. Number two, they were not able to correct youth from getting into drug menace, or they were not able to, do enough for the society. They have occupied the Gurdwaras and the Guru Cars. They've made Guru Cars and Gurdwaras their showrooms, and they've been collecting money from there, and that money has been diverted to the Shiromani Akali Dal for their political purposes. That is one reason why I have always maintained that the SGPC has to decouple itself from the politics and the political parties like the Badals. They have to work for the Panth, they have to work for the Sikhi, they have to work for the unification of the Panth and the Sanatan together and live peacefully and prosperously.
Then that overhaul has to come from within the community.
The way we were glorious, Punjab was glorious. The downfall of Punjab is not only because of the bad policies of the politicians, but also because of the bad policies of the SGPC supporting such corrupt politicians.
If you are going to follow
there
the
is a multiple problem.
If you are going to follow the Panthic route of what was set by Guru Gobind Singh, then in that case, then you have to follow everything that was taught and said by Guru Gobind Singh. Now, if everything that Guru Gobind Singh, the 10th Guru, and talked about, and when he put out, if you look at all the 10 Gurus of Sikhi, they are very closely aligned with not just Sanatan Pratha, but the offshoots. They are also worshippers of Devi Ma. So all of this is a part of our history. You cannot separate and
So
siphon out certain parts, and you cannot add the
point.
other parts. And the other part, the fact is that Sikhs came out of society to protect society. That was the integral role that they have, and they continue to do that for the country. And that is the beauty of this, the panth that we are talking about, that is Sikhi. Hemant Atri, then if that is the case, then what NIA raids have to be, or investigation has to be in the SGPC's functioning. Then the community has to turn around and say that this is not the Gurudwara Prabandhak Committee, or these are not the custodians of Sikhi, because they are not following the tenets of our gurus in absolute spirit, rote and spirit, letter and spirit.
Anand bhai, the situation is somewhat different. See, as I was earlier pointing out to you, there is a complete leadership vacuum in Punjab, and particularly with this SGPC. The reason being, see, there are many agitations going around in Punjab, and believe you me, they are not, believing any political party or any outfit. Maybe farmers, maybe anybody who is sitting on dharnas here and there. They are not inviting politicians from any party, maybe Congress, maybe anybody for that matter. The issue is, all these parties have lost their confidence, and SGP is not far behind. The issue is how a gentleman coming back to India, he's 29 years of age. He's only 29 years of age. And he returned back to India. He's a self-proclaimed preacher. He came to India after 10 years. Via Europe he has come. He has become such an enigmatic figure that nobody knows who is behind him. So the real challenge for the security agencies, maybe in the Punjab state as well as the Union of India, they need to curb him right away.
नहीं, इसको कर्ब करोगे तो कोई और दूसरा खड़ा हो जाएगा. You are actually going to address, trying to address the effect. You are not addressing the cause. The cause lies elsewhere. The cause lies elsewhere, and that cause has to be weeded out. That cause has to be identified, diagnosed, and treated once and for all. Because only then you will not have you will not have seeds, and you will not have products like Amritpal then.
Exactly. See, Anand, there are three things basically in Punjab. Punjab being a very, vibrant state, and they are very resourceful guys. What is happening is the maximum possible unemployment is there, one. Due to that, this drug menace came, two, over a period of last 2-3 decades. And finally, the kind of leadership that Punjab deserves to deliver things to the people, Punjab people are very hard-working people. They want work. They want remuneration.
So you're saying leadership vacuum at all levels, societal levels, political levels, and also at panthic levels. But final word.
Precisely.
Final word, Ramnik Man.
See, I'll tell you, the problem also is because, over the years, the correct interpretation of the Bani, of what the message of the Gurus has been, there has been a misinterpretation, and that is what has been propagated over the years. The correct meaning, the correct essence of the Panth, the Bani, has not come out in public, number one. Number two, I would again reiterate, the people of Punjab are very hardworking people. The politicians have not been making policies which were people-centric, which were social-centric, which were to bring about economic and social changes in Punjab. There is no industrialization in Punjab. As a matter of fact, the Chief Minister of Punjab a few days back had commented that he will bring about, a certain number, 2,48,413 employments, and we will have 37,000 crores of investment. As a matter of fact, there is 3 lakh crore plus MOUs signed with the UP government by the industrialists of Punjab. You're not able to stop industries from going out of Punjab. You're not been able to stop the youth going out of Punjab. You've not been able to stop youth from getting close to drugs. You're not being able to check
so
and
the challenges
stop
are
the menace of rampant conversion.
So the challenges
the
are many.
depletion of the society and the morality in the society has been the greatest cause of the downfall of Punjab from number 1 to number 14 today. Anand, that is where it is.
So then it has to change at all levels. So weeding out or cracking out only on one individual who's a hate monger is not going to do. Well, the cause has to be addressed, ladies and gentlemen. We'll park it there for the moment, continue to track the developments on ground very closely. Ramnik Man and Hemant Atri, thank you very much. Moving on here on the right stand, from Punjab all the way across the country to Chhattisgarh. The coal levy scam is now gnawing at the feet of Chhattisgarh politicians and of course the bureaucrats, and a lot of the Chief Minister's aides now stand raided. Clearly, this has started and set off yet another political fisticuff between the Congress party and the BJP. But the work done on ground is by the Enforcement Directorate sleuths. So what does the ED claim? Let's try and put that out first up. Sources telling CNN News 18 that according to sources within the Enforcement Directorate, the ED has actually found proceeds of crime in the coal levy scam landed in the hands of senior Congress leaders in Chhattisgarh. The total proceeds of crime that landed with senior Congress leaders is anywhere between 70 to 75 crore rupees. ED sources say that a substantial portion of these proceeds of crime was actually used during the by-elections in Khairagarh. Now, this Tiwari's company, RE Mines, is under the ambit. Businessman Suryakant Tiwari, he won a mining contract. RE Mines is under the ambit of investigations of the ED because they found that Suryakant Tiwari won a mining contract from the state government due to the blessings of the state government. Some aji-baji there. Suryakant Tiwari was actually transferring funds to Ram Gopal Verma from RE Mines. Ram Gopal Verma, the treasurer, received around 52 crore rupees. So what is the coal levy scam case? The ED investigation relates to a massive scam in which an illegal levy of 25 rupees was being extorted for every ton of coal transported in Chhattisgarh. And this was allegedly done by a cartel involving senior bureaucrats, businessmen, politicians and middlemen. 9 persons, including State Administrative Service Officer Chaurasia, Suryakant Tiwari, his uncle Lakshmikant Tiwari and another coal businessman Sunil Agarwal have now been arrested. Sameer Vishnoi, a senior IAS, has already been arrested in the matter as he was heading the mines department at that time. This is what the BJP's charge is and of course the response from the Congress party.
15 साल में जो काम नहीं कर पाए वो 4 साल के सरकार ने कर दिखाया और जनता का दिल जीता है। छत्तीसगढ़ सरकार की सफलता का डंका पूरे प्रदेश नहीं पूरे देश में बज रहा है और उससे बेचैन है भारतीय जनता पार्टी और खासकर रमन सिंह। एक चीज़ बताइए, ये किस मामले में जांच कर रहे हैं, ये पता है आपको? और अधिवेशन के ठीक पहले करने का आवश्यकता क्या है? अधिवेशन के पहले भी कर सकते थे।
इलीगल कोल लेवी जो लगती है उसको लेकर जांच एजेंसी अपना काम कर रही है, छापे मार रही है, नए नए खुलासे हो रहे हैं और दर्द जो हो रहा है वो फिर से भ्रष्टाचारियों के जो सरगना है कांग्रेस पार्टी को हो रहा है। ये पूछने की बात है कि रायपुर से लेकर दिल्ली तक कांग्रेस हेडक्वार्टर में हलचल क्यों मची? इस भ्रष्टाचार की जो तार है वो कांग्रेस हेडक्वार्टर और कांग्रेस पार्टी से जुड़ी।
Time for a very short break here on the Right Stand. When we come back, we turn the attention towards Pakistan, where there's a lot happening. Amid the Pak eco-crisis, Lahore High Court has approved bail of Imran Khan in the Sangjani Terrorism Act case. He took more than an hour and a half to make his way to court, and to even enter court from right outside court was a task. That's the kind of support he's claiming. He's got bail, but does it all end there? Stay with us.
That this war has ground down into a stalemate. So I think at a time such as this, for Joe Biden to land up in Kyiv, be seen side by side with Zelensky, walk down, some of the main streets there, is conveying an absolutely unequivocal message of support and solidarity with Ukraine. And I think this is a significant moment. It's really high on symbolism, and this photograph, like I said, is going to be pasted all across news media outlets around the world.
Zaka, how does one read this? Is a big development that's coming in from Ukraine. The entire attendance of Joe Biden there.
Oh, it's a huge story. The fact that Joe Biden, the US president, is today in Kyiv. He's meeting with President Vladimir Zelensky of Ukraine, as well as other senior officials. These are the first pictures that we have of him in downtown Kyiv, in central Kyiv. Remember, for the last hour or so in Kyiv, air raid sirens have been going off. That is to indicate that there is a VVIP movement. There are videos doing the rounds of social media as well of his cavalcade passing by downtown Kyiv. We can now confirm Leslia Velenko, who is a senior Ukrainian member of parliament, has confirmed that US President Joe Biden has landed in Kyiv. Remember, he's en route to Poland. He's supposed to go to Warsaw tomorrow. So this is en route to Poland. You can see the first pictures of US President Joe Biden just as we approach the first anniversary of this war. This war was launched on the 24th of February. It's going to be exactly a year by the end of this week. So on the week when Ukrainians will be looking back at this torrid year that it has been for them and for their country, Joe Biden, arguably the world's most powerful man, the world's most powerful politician, landing up in Kyiv, expressing solidarity with the Ukrainian people, expressing solidarity with Vladimir Zelensky's government. Remember, he has led a rather valiant effort to take on a much stronger, much bigger army of Russia and a much bigger leader in Vladimir Putin. So this is a huge message of support from the American president to his Ukrainian counterpart and also to the Ukrainian people, that America is standing firmly and solidly behind this war effort. This is, of course, as far as Ukraine is concerned, an attempt to try, this is an existential crisis. I mean, if they lose this war, they lose their country. And as the country marks 1 year of this brutal war after having been launched as a special military operation by Vladimir Putin, it is now confirmed, and you can see these pictures of President Joe Biden of the United States walking down central Kyiv. He's meeting with President Zelensky and other senior members of the Ukrainian government. He will be subsequently going to Warsaw tomorrow, but we're expecting a briefing by senior government officials of Ukraine any moment now. In the run-up to this touchdown, as it were, of course, this was a highly secretive visit. It was kept under wraps for a number of days in the run-up to this visit. And even this morning, you know, it is not like information was trickling in either from the US White House administration or from media reports in the US about the possibility of Biden, touching down in Kyiv. But now you can see those live pictures of US President Joe Biden in Kyiv, meeting with Zelensky as well as other senior leaders of the Ukrainian government. He's going to spend a few hours there and then make his way towards Warsaw to Poland, where he's expected to give a major speech tomorrow on this one-year war effort. So clearly, this is a big, big moment. Symbolically, maybe not materially, but definitely symbolically, the fact that the US president is in Kyiv. We've had, the UK Prime Minister, when Boris Johnson was the UK Prime Minister, he had gone to Kyiv. We've seen other leaders, the former Israeli Prime Minister had gone to Kyiv, but we haven't seen the American president go to Kyiv since this war began. So I think it's a significant moment, this, definitely high on optics, high on solidarity, the photographs, the symbolism, that'll be huge. But what may this translate into in terms of material support for Ukraine, I think that is something that we'll have to wait and watch out for.
Absolutely. And Zaka, like you rightly said, this is one of the very important, in fact, decisive moments in Joe Biden's presidency. And of course, all eyes will be on that very speech, or the kind of messaging that he sends out to Russia through that speech in Warsaw.
Absolutely. So that was there you can see the still, you can see both Zelensky and Biden. Biden to the right and Zelensky to his left. They are walking downtown Kyiv is what we've been told. This is a hugely symbolic moment, no doubt about it. Like I said, since this war began, the US president has not touched down in Kyiv. He has now. And the fact that this entire visit was supposed to be to Poland tomorrow, he was supposed to make a big speech there in Poland. But en route to Poland, en route to Warsaw, he's now landed in Kyiv. And it's a significant photographic sort of memory, if you will, or a turn in the road as far as this war is concerned, because it's signaling unequivocal support. I think these images will be on the front pages of all newspapers from the New York Times to Washington Post, all websites across the world are going to be carrying this. Television channels like CNN News 18 are reporting this. I think it's hugely powerful on symbolism. Materially, will he make any new announcement of further military aid? Remember, the US is committed to the Abrams tanks. That announcement was made just a few weeks ago. The US alone has contributed close to $50 billion in military and non-military aid to Ukraine since this war began. The Europeans have contributed a substantial number as well. So I think this is going to be, again, read in Western capitals.
Back on the right stand with the latest news coming in that the former Prime Minister of Pakistan has been granted bail in the Sangjani case. There's been high drama in court, ladies and gentlemen, with Imran Khan taking his own time to step out of his house, making the whole charade of massive support and tumultuous support coming in, so much so that he couldn't even find the space to step out of his car and enter into the courtroom in time, and they had to make the courts wait. And eventually it was all perhaps the public pressure that was created to show that somehow or the other keep me out of jail. He's been held in contempt. He's been denied bail on some of the other cases, but in this case, once again, the argument being of medical grounds and security, he has been granted bail. So some breather for Imran Khan at a time when this nation is fast, not just hurtling, zooming into an abyss, ladies and gentlemen. From there is perhaps a point of no return. A point where, such is the case, the sorry state of affairs, ladies and gentlemen, that the gap between the elite and the really poor, the haves and the have-nots, is so vast that there is no middle class in between. So the Pakistani elite in certain cities are queuing up outside a newly opened cafe to have a nice cup of coffee, while the common people of Pakistan are queuing outside ration shops in the hope that they will get some atta with the amount of money which is left in their pockets. That's the reality, ladies and gentlemen. It's not one but several problems that Pakistan actually faces. So let's get to that. So this is one political issue as far as Imran Khan is concerned. He's not going to make life easy for anybody. But the other problems are very, very severe. You have the economic crisis. Pakistan's external debt servicing has jumped by 70% in the first half of financial year 23. Alarm bells in the country as the nation's forex reserves have dropped below $3 billion. The IMF, who left Pakistan without bailing them out, has said that the country must function as a nation and not get into a dangerous place where it needs debt restructuring. The IMF has also asked Pakistan to take severe tax measures. The body has asked Pakistan to tax the rich and stop subsidy leakage. The political turmoil ahead of elections, Imran Khan facing heat over the funding case, but his party is stoking political instability because he is busy rabble-rousing on the streets. Though Imran Khan has now been barred from holding political office for 5 years, he still wields considerable influence, and his party is riding a massive wave of mass popularity. And amid all this, there are repeated terror attacks. After targeting the cops last week in Karachi, the IS Khorasan and the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan continue to attack Pak establishment, have called them un-Islamic. The Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan coming out to say that they will not rest till they have brought Pakistan under Sharia law. Not just that, these jihadi outfits have warned for more jihadist attacks. Pakistan's friends also not standing with them. While China has not only called Pakistan unsafe for its citizens, China has also set advance payment conditions for trade in a few sectors. Friendly nations like Afghanistan, Turkey, Qatar, Saudi Arabia have also either refused aid or set very stringent conditions. So much so, a former defense expert, a person, a highly placed official within the Pak government and a security analyst, has come out and said that Pakistan should actually consider pawning off its nuclear assets, perhaps even sell 1 or 2 of its nuclear assets, a few to this nation and few to that nation, to raise money. That's the level to which the thought process is going on. Whereas the Aam Aadmi, the people are saying it's the system, the establishment and the politicians cutting across political parties that have run this country aground, and they are repenting, lamenting what's happened. Tariq Fatah is with us, author and columnist. Tariq Fatah ji, namaste. Good to have you with us. You always look at some of the funny sides and perhaps the bizarre sides of this nation that is Pakistan. But today what is happening there, what is your biggest concern or what is your assessment? Khwaja Asif says that Diwaliya ho chuka hai. We are already bankrupt.
It doesn't matter. Diwaliya ho gaya, nahi hua ho. Country based on flimsy ideological reasons at the request of the departing British to simply cut off the limbs of India will bleed itself to death. Bangladesh has more reason to be a country than Pakistan. And Pakistan is basically a dictatorship of Pakistan's Punjabis acting as if the mother tongue is Urdu, trying to demean their own culture, own land, own river. So it is not just a country whose elite are in serious identity crisis. It's a country that has no reason to exist. Like in Balochistan, the War of Independence is now since 1948, March 28th, when it was invaded. It was an independent state and Pakistan invaded it in 1948. Similarly, the Durand line between the Pashtuns, they speak the Pashtun frontier, which should have been on the west side of the river Indus, suddenly went further in, and now they have no control over even the Taliban. Come and at military attack and kill the Pakistani soldiers. So Sindh has its own GSIND movement, and as you know, Sindh, the word Sindh is in India's national anthem, not in Pakistan's national anthem. So we are seeing the withering end of an entity created by the British in the Cold War times, so as to create a buffer zone between the Red Army and the Republic of India. And purpose has been served, and there are harsher ways of, language should be used, but that's how Pakistan has been used and dumped away. There should be no concern. The people who made Pakistan live in UP and Bihar. Correct. They are the ones who for Pakistan. They still live there. They still have that same arrogance of their superiority of religion over every other thing. So unless and until this phenomena of hatred against Hindus and Hindustan is tackled ideologically and depicted as for what it is, that it is hate and it is race, this will not go. On the other hand, there are people in Balochistan who would love to, who are fighting for their independence, who would love to hear from India or get help from India to break away. That same bravado that India refused to buy from the Sultanate of Oman, being too far, is today China's naval base. So you have to give some credit for the stands taken by the early Indian leaders who, according to the words of Frontier Gandhi, Ghaffar Khan, said कि तुम हमें भेड़ियों के हवाले करके जा रहे हो. So that's what we are. We are victims of negligence in political belief that subcontinent was one country, and the Muslim arrogance that we ruled it as a minority still exists both in Pakistan and my various visits to India. I've noticed is the basis on which there is arrogance even in among Muslims of India who consider now on a Madani side the first Islamic country. The absurdity is just, and anyone who reacts against this is called an ultra right wing, or I don't know what language they use, but it annoys me that there are people living in India who consider India not to, or Hindustan, which was its name, as Hindustan is not for Hindus. It is for Adam, the gentleman
see,
who.
but thing is, Tariq Fatah Sahab, there are people who will say all sorts of things, but in Pakistan at least the people are now realizing, and there is open acceptance that they created the Mujahideen, they are the ones who created the terrorists, and they've always walked the wrong line. Ideologically and also as a nation where they were what they wrote, but the current generation today seems to be talking about it. I just want to draw your attention to another development. I have limited time, but I want to bring your attention to what happened in Balochistan, where a Baloch lady has been abducted. And these are the details. Pakistan security forces abducted 5 relatives, 2 women and 3 girls. They were abducted from the home of Bibi Gul, chairperson of the HR Council of Balochistan, which is a human rights group based in Europe and also in Balochistan. The abducted women include Bibi Gul's mother Mehnaz, sister-in-law Mahal Baloch and 3 nieces. The HRCB also said that Mehnaz was abandoned in a desolate area after warning her from speaking to anyone. It adds that the children were released on Saturday, but Mahal continues to remain in custody. Baloch organization and activists have condemned Mahal's arrest. In fact, in the Balochistan capital of Quetta, there were huge protests that erupted as women's organizations took out a rally against Pakistan's new tactic of abducting Baloch women and children. Pakistan's counter-terrorism department has alleged that it has arrested a Baloch woman who is a suicide bomber. Mahal is the second woman to have been arrested on charges of being a suicide bomber. On the 3rd of February, another Baloch lady, Rashida Zahri, was arrested along with her entire family. Now, Pakistan's counter-terrorism department has alleged that it has arrested a Baloch lady as a suicide bomber, and a terrorism plan of the BLF has been defeated. The HRCB, they have said the HRCB rejecting the charges, saying blindfolded and taken into custody. Pakistani forces, on the other hand, further are going on to say that no, they claim 1 female potential suicide bomber was arrested. If you can move on, yeah. Children could hear Mahal's screams. And the whole house, pictures of the house being ransacked is there. A lady with children has been arrested as a suicide. Suicide jacket has been recovered, they say. The house has been ransacked by the counter-terrorism department is what we are given to understand. Pakistani forces, further the HR body saying this is bad. Let's go across to Tariq Fatah ji and ask him, is this how they treat people? This is brutal. The pictures of the house, the lady and her children being treated thus.
Sir, what I could tell you is that in all of Balochistan, if you see a Pakistani flag, it would be the flag at the Deputy Commissioner's place or some official place. The entire province, 90% of the Baloch population and the mingled people, the Murri people, the Buktis, the shoreline people of Makran, they are 100% fed up with the theory, the idea, the two-nation theory, and they do not wish to live in Pakistan. They were an independent country. They had an embassy in Karachi. And sad to say that India has not stood up with them because they wanted to be with India. It was the Khan of Khalat, the ruler of Balochistan, who went to India and said, we want to join you. And the lovers of Urdu leaked this out to Liaquat Ali Khan, and that your Baloch leaders are over here. And they were not Baloch, they were Pashtuns, like Mahmud Khan Achakzai's father, Abdul Samad Achakzai. He was a Congress member in the Lok Sabha of that time. And so the issue is that we just do not know scientifically when it will wither away, but the withering away of the state of Pakistan is on course. You cannot create artificial identities. You cannot live in Lahore without knowing that it is the city named after Ram's son. You cannot be in Kasur and just yesterday pick up Ahmadi Muslims without anyone knowing that what is the significance of Lahore and Kasur, a place where no Hindu lives now.
Correct.
It's the shame. In Sindh, they are kidnapping Hindu women and selling them to aged people and converting them to Islam against the wishes of these young women. And I feel helpless. There is nobody to protect these women. There are about 50,000 Baloch who have, the term is forcibly disappeared. I had to I said, oh, what is this forcibly disappear? It's now entered the legal lingo.
They've normalized forcible disappearance. How can you normalize a term like that is something that stands out?
Just boiled, as if you're boiling water and turned into steam.
It's steam, yeah.
These are human beings, but they do not consider them as human beings because in their minds, only someone who speaks Urdu is a human being. The rest is
that has
people.
to change, and if it doesn't change, then this nation will cease to exist in its current form. Tariq Fateh Sahab, thank you very much for your time. We just got a quick update as we wind up this edition of The Right Stand that the Pakistan National Assembly has passed a mini budget of 170 billion. That means far more stringent taxes on the Pakistani people. That's all we have time for. Thank you for watching. Zaka Reddy with Brass Tacks.
Good evening, this is Brass Tacks. I'm Zaka Jacob. US President Joe Biden made a surprise stopover in Kyiv today, the first time he has done so since this war began. Later this week, it's going